This is just a regular beaker, and I want to make it disappear. To do this, I'll put it in another beaker, and I'll pour in a goopy liquid. At first, this isn't too interesting, and the fun only happens when the goo starts overflowing. Now, almost like magic, the beaker slowly disappears. This is happening because the liquid, which is actually just vegetable glycerin, bends light in almost the exact same way as the glass. This makes it nearly impossible to see when it's submerged, and the glass just blends in with the rest of the glycerin. The beaker is of course still there, but I think it's surprising how well it's hidden. This is just some regular Coke, and I'm going to try and turn it clear. To get started, the first step is to open it up. Then I can pour in this special liquid, and very quickly, the color starts disappearing. Over the next few minutes, it got lighter and lighter, and eventually, it was technically clear. I felt that it could still be better though, so I put the cap back on, and I left it overnight. When I came back to it the next day, I was honestly pretty surprised. The color was almost completely gone, and it was only faintly yellow. Something else that I also thought was surprising was that it was still fizzy. The only problem was that it smelled absolutely horrible. This was because the mystery liquid that I had added was just a bunch of bleach. It had reacted with all of the molecules that gave Coke its color, but unfortunately, it also made it completely undrinkable. This is just some regular ice, but it's filled with bubbles, and I think it's really ugly. What I want is some beautiful ice that's perfectly clear, and I think I'm going to try making some. To get started, all I need is a regular cooler, and I'll fill it with some warm tap water. I'll bring it up to roughly an inch from the top, and then I can put this entire thing in the freezer. Using a cooler to do this forces the ice to form from the top down. This allows it to freeze without trapping air, and I have to leave it in there for about 36 hours. At this point, it should be good to go, and I can take it out. I'll then flip it upside down, and I'll leave it in the sink for a while. I then pulled away the cooler, and I had a bunch of ice. A lot of it hadn't frozen though, and I carefully got rid of it. At the bottom was a really nice and thick chunk of ice. It's a bit too big though, and I'll have to chop it up. To do this, I apparently just had to make a shallow cut all the way around. Then, when I tap it with a knife and a hammer, it's supposed to make a clean break. However, I think I hit it a bit too hard. This was kind of sad, but I was a lot better with the other cuts, and I was able to chop it into 4 large chunks. I then ran one of them under water to clean it up, and this was what I was left with. It's somehow even better than I thought it would be, and it kind of blows my mind how clear it is. There are some spots with some small bubbles, but it's still really impressive, and I think that it almost looks fake.